It's Sunday, August 30th, and you've tuned into the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. Right now, you're listening to WeP3 Radio, proudly produced in partnership with Reach Across America Radio. Together, we share a mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach future generations the value of freedom. A freedom bought, paid, and secured for by the brave men and women who have worn our national and local uniforms. Stay tuned for We Got Your 6 at 6. Now playing on WeP3 Radio, Jimmy Wayne McKern. Hard to see the stars.
He hasn't opened. Next to some bourbon and a bag of marijuana, he's been smoking. His sister calls, tell him that she's worried. How's he coping?
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Truck it on.
Doctors, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Truck it on.
Okay, here I am. I get so nervous every week, and then I never know where the intro just actually starts with all the fun stuff Peterson does. Hey, it's Andrea Eichmann here. I'm with Mark, and I'm with Frank tonight, as every Sunday night, with our We Got Your 6 at 6, hosted by the People's Patriot Project. Tonight, we've got some amazing guests. We're going to hear from Lee Stuckey, and I just learned of even more things Lee is going to tell us about tonight, so hang on tight and listen in. And then we've got Aaron Justice with us tonight to share music that, oh gosh, I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. So stick around for that as well. We have a few sponsors to thank. We're going to start out with Derek Iozio and his Catch-22 peer support group. Amazing group. You probably will never get just one of them because they're a pretty tight group. If you want to talk individually, one-on-one, just have coffee, not talk about anything, catch up with these guys. Catch-22 peer support. Amazing group of people there to listen, there to talk, there to play music, whatever you want to do. Just catch them. They are a busy, busy group. Then we have Operation Texas Strong with Peggy and Bobby Kretzinger down in Weatherford, Texas. They are collecting, and they have been, we've known these guys for years, collecting RVs, prettying them up if they need to be prettied up, and then putting homeless veterans in these RVs that have been donated. And they've got a little campground now too. They are just on the move. Some super amazing people. If you know anyone who's got an RV to donate, always share Operation Texas Strong with them. And then we got two guys that are from the tech world. That's not really where they're from, but this is what they're doing right now. They're amazing. Business Growth Engine with Stephen Rainwater and Jonathan Wills, with their Business Growth Engine. I tell you what, you got a question, ask them. If you like what they do, get a hold of them and have them do it. That's what we're doing right now, and it is pretty flipping amazing. And all of our sponsors, all of our guests, all of our listeners, some of you were here already last week. We love to see you on a weekly. Please give us a call out, ask a question, share your name or what you do before you leave. Make sure you let us know you are here. Thank you very much. Without you guys, we don't have a show. You've seen us. We sit around and shoot the poo, and then you hear about us, and that's okay sometimes too. Before we get into tonight's show, we'd like you to take a moment and join us for this amazing version of the Star Spangled Banner with Dave Bray, USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to stand if you are capable of standing. Out of honor and respect, please remove your covers and prepare yourself how you need to show your greatest gratitude for the amazing freedoms and liberties we have achieved under one of the most powerful symbols in the world. Please cast your attention as we respect our old glory.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket train, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave.
It is Sunday, August 30th, and you're here for We Got Your 6 at 6.
Just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine.
I did it. I did it. All right.
Stopped
We're
it
here.
on time. Woohoo!
We're ready to roll, man. We're ready to roll. Check out the panel today, folks. Nothing but rock stars in this house, and we're going to get it done. We are here to grow, learn, be better, and have a better version of us tomorrow. But we have to hear from a little bit of, a little narrative from one of our spokespeople. We got to bring up Bastian the Bison.
At the People's Patriot Project, our mission is more than just words. It's a call to action. Each of us bears the vital responsibility to check your 6. We begin this important journey with a moment of self-assessment. Ask yourself, are you truly mission ready? If the answer is no, don't wait in silence. Reach out, use your skills, lean into your resources, and connect with your network. Whether you turn to a trusted friend, a supportive organization, or dial 988, remember, you must be battle ready to stand strong for the mission ahead. Once you feel equipped, take that next step. Reach out to 6 people in your circle. Check in on them. No agenda, no judgment, just genuine connection. This is how we build strength, shield one another, and serve our communities with pride. Together, we reaffirm our commitment. We got this. Patriot Pride.
So I feel like we're starting to sound like a broken record here a little bit, and we want to make sure people understand the why. The why do we have Bastian? He looks goofy. People said last week, Jen Ford said I might have been a body double for Bastian. I don't know what that is all about, but I love Jen Ford, love what she does, and she's got some amazing content coming out of Texas. We wanted a powerful, robust spokesperson that resembled what America was, and we thought that the Bison was the one thing. But why did we do it? One of the things was it cut down on the amount of talk time we did on it. We think it's very important for all of us to be part of the mission. And for us, part of the mission is reaching out to our brothers and sisters. And we don't know when that time of need is sometimes because, let's face it, our brothers and sisters are tough, and they're tough for all moments except for that one moment. And we all have one of these in our presence. I don't know anyone that doesn't have these. Sadly, we're hearing some stories of some homeless vets even today, but they have a phone to share, and they stand next to a library so they get free Wi-Fi, and that's how they get it. This is a lifeline, folks. All we're asking you to do is find 6 people in your contact list and reach out to them saying, hey, just thinking about you. Hey, checking our 6. Get the little branding there. Check your 6. We're finding 6 people in our network that we can reach out just to make sure they're okay. And sorry, not sorry. I mean, there's more that we talk about this sometimes, but if you do nothing, then you know what you can expect. That's and I hate saying it like that because I'm not here to threaten anyone. I'm not here to hurt anyone. But we have our brothers and sisters that are sitting on the edge sometimes, and they just need to know that someone's there and that someone cares. And that's all it is. So,
can I add real quick to the bison piece?
Absolutely.
So the bison is a pretty awesome animal. And if you look at the bison and a cow during a storm will run from the storm, and they spread out and they run away from the storm, and the storm just follows them, and they stay in the storm so much longer, and they wither the entire storm separately and by themselves because they don't herd together, and they're in the storm for the longest amount of time possible. where a bison instinctively gets shoulder to shoulder with the herd and runs through the storm and faces the storm head on and gets through the storm in such a faster time together as a herd. And if you look at our lives, like we spend 98% of our life in a valley, and we rarely get up to that peak. Like whatever you're doing, you rarely see those peaks. You're always in a valley and you're struggling and you're grinding and you're with a team. And so it's so important when you're in that valley to get with really, really good people that are going to get shoulder to shoulder with you in a healthy manner. And you're going to have a solid team in the valley fighting the fight every single day because you're in it the majority of your life. So pick the people you're with while you're fighting that valley.
I love it. Thank you, Mr. Stuckey. I appreciate that. That is a great part of the story and narrative. And welcome, Lee Stuckey.
Can I throw this in there? The buffalo really is just the most majestic animal.
Bison.
Oh, that's
bison.
One more. That was awesome. Good job,
Bison.
A-bomb for the win.
The bison. Absolutely.
Bison.
American bison.
Yeah.
Bison.
They are majestic, though.
I was making a graphic for a buddy this weekend, and he owns a golf course out in Wyoming. And he got to be careful here a little bit. So he has a golf course called Antelope Hills. And so I said, let's create this graphic. We'll put antelope on there. We'll Antelope Hills, this and that. Well, when the graphic came back, it looked like the antelope of Africa, because the antelope in Wyoming are not antelope, even though that's what we call it. If you go get a tag to hunt the animal in Wyoming, it's called an antelope tag.
It's a pronghorn.
Pronghorn.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just, there's little things you got to know, and we'll share some of that stuff along the way. So look at our amazing panel. Once again, Lee Stuckey, tell us who you are, tell us about your service, and tell us about your mission, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So Lee Stuckey did 22 years in the Marine Corps, started off enlisted as a machine gunner, ended up getting commissioned after a little over 6 years and becoming a logistics officer after getting a degree from Auburn University, and just really blessed to be able to serve and had so many great influential people in my life. Definitely made tens of thousands of mistakes to have a few successes, and all those successes were the people around me and the team that we were able to build to create those successes. And I just learned so much about teamwork, about planning, and the military is phenomenal about really structuring your day. And throughout that process, though, there was trauma, and I did go through a lot of stuff like most people, just in life in general, not just the military, and did 3 combat tours, about 2.5 years in Iraq. So I did 3 combat tours to Iraq, went enlisted for 1 tour, and then got a commission and went as an officer twice. In 2007, I was a lieutenant and got blown up in a convoy. And so my tire actually initiated the IED, and it blew up underneath my tire. I was fortunately in an MRAP, which is a mine-resistant ambush protected, a big vehicle. I'm pretty confident I would have been killed in a Humvee, but that wasn't the plan. So God switched me over to an MRAP, and I appreciated that, and it saved me. But got a really bad concussion. Didn't tell anybody because I wanted to get promoted and didn't want anybody to pull me out of the game. At that point when you're in combat, you've practiced for Friday night lights back at Camp Lejeune or wherever you're stationed. And now when you're in combat, you're in the Friday night game. You're in your high school football game or whatever that analogy is. And I didn't want to get pulled out of the game and leave my team hanging. So really just worked to stay in combat and not get pulled out, and never dealt with a brain injury. And got injured a few more times, had some, close concussions and some other stuff happen overseas, and never really took the time to take care of myself. During this time, I was fighting professional MMA. So I fought pro cage fighting and started jiu-jitsu back in 99. So I was doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu for a long time. And really between jiu-jitsu and martial arts, mixed martial arts, that kept me grounded even after I was injured. So even after I got blown up, I was training for professional fights, and so I wasn't coming back from deployments and drinking. I was always training, so I would come back and I would have a pro fight, and do jiu-jitsu and train, and then I would deploy again. So I did that for probably a year and a half to 2 years, and I was just going back and forth, deploying. I'd come back and fight a fight, and in 2009, I came back from Mosul, Iraq, which is a pretty bad place to live. I don't recommend it if you want to Airbnb everywhere. I wouldn't stay in Mosul. And I came back from that deployment and had another pro fight. And I remember, like, you get these Facebook reminders and these pictures pop up. The picture popped up about a month ago, and it was me with my arms around my team. And in that picture, I remember looking back, I wanted to die in that picture, but I didn't tell anybody. And I really just didn't sleep for like 2.5 years. From the time I was blown up until this point in my career, I was just running and I was sprinting and I was taking care of everybody else. I was training for fights. I was making sure I was in the best physical shape I could be in. I was doing all the stuff I could as a Marine officer, and I wasn't taking care of myself and asking doctors, why am I not sleeping? And I would go probably 4 or 5 days staying up. And if I would sleep, I would have nightmares, burn alive in my sleep, just have these nightmares where I would wake up and I thought I was peeing the bed for a while, which when you're single and you've got a girlfriend, that's not a great way to wake up. And I finally realized that I was sweating so much, it was just wetting the bed. And so I did that for about 2 years. I came back from that fight. I fought that fight, won it. I got back to Alabama and took a recruiting job for the Marine Corps, and I was living at my farm. And I finally just got tired of being tired. And one night I drank enough alcohol to put me past that point of clarity. And I went to pull the trigger on a Glock with no external safety. And as I was taking my life, my mom called my cell phone at that split second. I had like a razor phone, and fortunately I had it set in front of me. I didn't do it on purpose. I just set it down and went to kill myself. And it lit up and said mom on it. And she called me at the split second I was taking my life with a Glock. And she saved my life. And I'm a firm believer that, God used my mother as a vessel to stop me, because she calls me random times every 2 or 3 weeks. Now, after that, she calls me every day. But at that point in our life, she was calling me every few weeks. And she called me on a Thursday night around 9:30 and stopped me from killing myself. And if she would have sneezed or gone to the bathroom, I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. So I'm very fortunate that she called me and came out and grabbed me and said, hey, what's going on with you? I went and stayed with her for a couple weeks and started doing counseling and really going through therapy and counseling and looking back and saying, why am I the weak one? Why are none of my Marines or sailors struggling? Why am I going through all this stuff? I finally realized they probably are too, but they don't want to tell anybody either. And if you go through trauma, if you go through extreme stuff like we were going through overseas, and you don't have issues, you're probably a sociopath. So the fact that I was having problems from the stuff that we had to do overseas meant I was a normal person that had to do abnormal things that our body, we're just not made to see or go through. And so now, how do I be transparent? How do I still keep a leadership position in the Marine Corps? How do I share my story so others will come to me and tell me that they're struggling too? And it was absolutely a complete 180. As soon as I started being a transparent leader and telling my Marines and sailors that I was struggling, they would pull me aside and say, hey, sir, I'm struggling too. And I was able to have open dialogues with them without seeing or saying that they're weak. Here I am, a professional MMA fighter, a Marine officer. I'd like to think an alpha male. And I'm just being transparent, telling them I'm going through stuff. And that really opened my eyes to the fact that the more we're open and the more we tell people, like, hey, we're going through some stuff, the community around you, if they really care about you, they're going to help you get through it. And it's so important to listen to understand and not listen to fix, or not listen to try to solve their problems. Just listen to understand and not try to out chaos or out, drama people. Just, hey, this is what I'm going through. It's not more or less significant to you. Your stuff is your stuff. Let's get through it together, and let's figure out some commonalities in what we're going through so we can help each other. So we started the nonprofit in 2010 after that, and we've brought in over 13,000 people since we started. And what started as whitetail deer hunting about a mile from where I'm sitting right now turned into saltwater fishing in Pensacola, put on by Dave Glassman. We just had our 15th annual this past weekend. We have AHERO Records, which Aaron is a part of, and he's written some songs with us and just phenomenal musician. We have our 4 pillars, which are how do we help people physically, financially, emotionally, and for me, most importantly, spiritually. And even if you're not Christian, grounding yourself in something bigger than yourself and starting your day disconnected from the phone and reconnect with what matters, regardless of what faith background you are, like something bigger than you, to start your day in reflection time and prepare yourself for the world that you will face. And so since we've been doing that, we brought in, like I said, over 13,000 people. We've stopped over 600 suicides that we know about. We've sent 64 people to a phenomenal place called Warrior's Heart out in Texas. I've had 2 relapse out of that 64 that we know about. So just a phenomenal program out there for substance abuse. And anything we can do to help our warriors get through their current storm and be that bison, that herd we talked about, and get shoulder to shoulder and really work to run through that storm. Think about this. The worst things you've ever been through in your entire life, you got through it. You're better off for it. You learn from it because we're all on the show today. And I look back on the worst thing that I've ever been through in my life, and it's still super embarrassing. I'm not trying to think about it to remind myself or depress myself, but man, I'm so much better for that one thing. And my life did a 180 after getting through it. And the most embarrassing, humbling, chaotic thing I've ever been through built the man I am today. And I'm so thankful for that opportunity to have that failure 6 years ago, or I wouldn't be where I am today. So just very blessed to be a servant and just be able to serve people, or I would have been dead 17 years ago, and I wouldn't be married to my wife. We wouldn't have the nonprofit. We wouldn't have AHERO Records with all these phenomenal singers and songwriters writing these wonderful songs about things that these veterans and first responders couldn't sleep at night thinking about these traumas. And now they're able to work with people like Aaron to put that trauma into a 3-minute song and heal from the thing that was keeping them up at night. So just very blessed to be a part of this program and watch it grow and just wake up every single day to get 1% better.
Well, we are so happy you're still with us, Lee, on a number of levels. A, personal, and B, you get to continue the mission. And the mission is bringing all of our brothers and sisters all the way home. So it's absolutely a blessing to have you. We're excited to hear about more. I had no idea. We didn't set this up. We didn't know. Aaron, you know this guy?
Oh
yeah. Well, we haven't officially met.
That's crazy. But you guys run the same network a little bit. That's not. This is a new thing for us. I mean, we run into the veterans and missions and nonprofits that there's like a connection. But I didn't realize that. Now you've played music for AHERO?
Aaron, Strength of a Survivor. It's a great time to talk about where it is on the charts.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is I wasn't part of the songwriting process when that song was written. It was Jeff Sylvie, Mike Corrado.
Yep.
Yeah. So they both wrote a song for a Marine called Strength of a Survivor, which is basically her story of what she went through being in the Marines and also finding her faith. So that journey. And Jeff told me that him and Mike were sitting there thinking, well, who are we going to get to sing the song? And I think Jeff had mentioned, Mike doing it. And Mike's like, no, we need something like a stronger voice, a bigger voice. And I guess Jeff had talked to Mike about me or brought me up at some point. And Mike said, well, what about Aaron? What would you think he would record it? And then that's when Jeff actually texted me, sent me the lyrics to it, and then just a rough him playing piano and vocals. And I was like, I'm in. So that was a great opportunity, which I'm very thankful for. So it turned out awesome. As far as the charts, man, I ain't checked it this month yet, but it's been climbing. I think it's sitting on God's Music Today, number 3. So, and it started at like 30 or something, like 30 or 31. So within the past couple months, it's climbed all the way up to number 3, just on that chart. And it's on 4 or 5 other different charts too. So
yeah, please
awesome.
Download Strength of a Survivor with Aaron Justice. It is an absolute, powerful, beautiful song.
It's great. Definitely honored to be asked to even sing it. So,
Well, first let's get through some of this, and maybe that's the one we should lead off with tonight. But who are you? Tell us about your service, and tell us what you're working on, brother.
all right. So I was in the Army from 2013 to 2017. Done 3 years in Germany, which was awesome. Got to bring my family over and I got to experience that with them. Finished off in Fort Hood, Texas. Ended up in Germany. I had a combat training incident, had emergency surgery. Ultimately ended up getting medically retired because of that. So that kind of shot me down because I had plans to, go through and retire. And in my whole life, I've always felt like I've never finished anything really important. So that kind of got to me because I really wanted to do that and be a lifer and just finish that out and retire that way. But, ended up being medically retired. God had other plans. While I was in the Army, I actually ended up, I got into alcohol. I guess it comes with the territory. Would drink, got to the point where it was every night. And I wouldn't always drink to get drunk, just to get a buzz and just to help me sleep at night. And that continued on to maybe a year and a half after I even got out. I ended up quitting drinking altogether. I want to say 2018 was the last time I had a drink. But before I even joined the service, music has always been a huge inspiration on my life and how it's got me through some of the hardest moments in my life as well. I grew up a preacher's kid, so I grew up in church my whole life. Always done music. 6 years old, my dad taught me how to play drums, so that was the first thing I learned how to play. My best friend Andrew, who actually gave me my first guitar, was the reason I even learned how to play guitar in the first place. So I'm very grateful for him. But at 16 years old, my mom and dad divorced. I think it was they'd been married for 20 years. But the crazy thing was I'd never seen them fight, but maybe one time. I never heard them argue with each other. My mom left. So my dad, he was a police officer at the time for the city and had to pick up extra shifts working for the county. So he would work sometimes during the day for the city, come home and sleep a few hours and work for the night for the county, the sheriff's department. So I would be home alone, just kind of contemplating things all the time by myself. And all I had was music. Back then we had our CDs, but I listened to the music that I could relate to and made me feel not so alone and made me feel heard. Other artists that maybe it felt like they had gone through what I've gone through. But during those times when I'd be by myself, I thought of suicide several times. I actually went and looked for my dad's gun at one point. Never did find it, thank goodness. But I looked for it, and then at that moment, I realized, I had this song on my mind. I started getting these lyrics, and that's when I wrote one of my first songs called All I Need. It's basically just how all I had at that moment was God, because I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have anybody to turn to. So it was just me in that moment. And then when I wrote that song, All I Need, that's when I realized, that was my calling, to write music that people can relate to. And like Lee said, to just make people feel heard and understood, not to try to fix them, but to sit with them in that moment of darkness and just get them through it. So that's my goal with music, is I want to write music that people can relate to, that can just sit with them while they're in that valley, and just help bring them out, not try to fix them or not try to have all the answers, but to let them know that, hey, I've been through that. There's other people here with you. And that's my goal with the music, is just spreading that message.
Well, what I've heard has been amazing. You're very humble. I'm attracted to the passion. I don't know if you're planning to go find him again in the cemetery, but if you are, we have tools that can get you there. We work with Reeds across America, and so we do that regularly. And if we'll get you to the spot where you need to be if you want to. We'll do that another time. But what song are you going to lead with tonight, brother?
Oh, you actually want me to sing one?
Well, we got all your stuff loaded up.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. Well, it's almost been a year since Love Like Jesus Does came out. So it came out in September last year. I mean, we could lead off with that and just kind of go from there.
All right. This is Aaron Justice with Love Like Jesus.
There's a man on the corner of Main and First with the cardboard sign and a couple holes in his shirt. The sign says for food out and work. There's a single mama of 3 working at the store, trying to make ends meet, pulling double so she can afford to put food on the table. Everywhere you look, everywhere you roam, somebody is waiting on a miracle. There's a lot of broken people in the world tonight. Down every street, on every road, it doesn't matter where you go, you can always find somebody who is hurting. Help me see them through your eyes, to understand the pain they have, and to show them grace and mercy from above. I want to love like Jesus does. There's a husband and a wife who for years have tried everything they knew to have a child. Endless prayer and sleepless nights. There's a man who lost his wife last June. Now he sits alone in his living room with her picture in his hand. What he'd give to hold her again. Everywhere you look, everywhere you roam, somebody is waiting on a miracle. There's a lot of broken people in the world tonight. Down every street, on every road, doesn't matter where you go, you can always find somebody who is hurting. Help me see them through your eyes, to understand the pain they have, and to show them grace and mercy from above. I want to love like Jesus does. Break my heart for what breaks yours, to reach the broken and the poor, and to simply love because you first loved me. Down every street, on every road, doesn't matter where you go, you can always find somebody who is hurting. Help me see them through your eyes, to understand the pain they have, and to show them grace and mercy from above. I want to love like Jesus does, to love like Jesus does, yeah. I wanna love like Jesus does. I wanna be like you. I wanna love like Jesus. I wanna love like Jesus does.
Aaron, you've got the special sauce, brother. That is Aaron Justice. Love Like Jesus Does. Oh my gosh, dude. That made my week. That made my week. It really did.
Awesome.
I don't know if it's the right place or time, and I don't know. I know when things happen, people jump on. I'm going to call it a bandwagon. I've started a little writing this week as well, because when a legend falls, why do we cry? That was that was kind of my premise. And it started off with, when a legend dies, why do we cry? But that hit me just like the songs I've been hearing this week has hit me, and the character of the human being. Now, we are veteran and first responder forward all day long, and that's what we do. But there's a part of me that wants to celebrate the life of Dolly Parton, only in the fact that I have never seen an ill thing or bad thing heard from someone else, And so when I'm hearing it, we got a really good brother, Scotty Hastings, who actually did a song with Lee Brice and Dolly Parton, The Final Shot. And I've just been in awe, and you put me in that spot with that song today. It's that same spot. It's like, what do I have to do to show the world how much good really is out there, and how awesome to live a legacy and a life that no one can put in check?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your words, brother. It's impactful. And I know we're going to hear more. And I also know that Mr. Stuckey's setting stuff behind the scenes as well. And I don't know if, Lee, you're coming in kind of don't know what the People's Patriot Project, and of course we don't know all the things that AHERO does, and we're going to learn that today. But we have a place for all these veterans and first responders to put their music. We have a place called WeP3 Radio, and Aaron Justice is playing on WeP3, not as we're speaking, but he's loaded up. We have, I believe the number is 267 veteran and first responder musicians right now playing on WeP3 Radio, and we're excited about it. We will fight anybody, not like real fight, but yeah, we'll fight. I'll fight. Shoot.
I'll fight him for you.
We got Lee with us.
Lee's got you.
I got you.
I'll film it for you.
I appreciate that. There is no one, and this is a prideful thing for us. We actually had someone come up to us recently and said, hey, can you give us the music from all your artists so that you can, first of all, they're not our artists. I'm going to be very point blank, and I'm going to say they are not our artists. They are in a network of people that we have a relationship with, and that's how. But I'm not, there's an argument in here, because I think to get Aaron Justice out there, we need to put him in every network out there and just play it and go and get it done. I have a hard time. This is what their ask was. Can you give me their music so I can promote my podcast? And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I go, what you can do is you can take the link for WeP3 Radio and you can shout that thing at the mountaintops and let everyone hear the music from every one of our veterans and first responders across this country that is putting content out there. And that will get the message out there. But I'm not handing stuff over. Sorry.
Yeah, I do the same thing. So I have a AHERO music playlist. And it's just awesome to have all of our AHERO people and all of our talented musicians like Aaron that's worked with us, and Mike Carrata and Rusty Tabor, and Jeff Sylvie's written a bunch of songs for George Strait. And now Dana Black wrote George Strait's #1 and #2 songs. Jake Harrelson, Corey Rose, Kevin Adair's written probably 100 country music songs. Like, I can literally drive for 6 hours and listen to all of my friends on the radio.
That is awesome.
It's amazing. And we're so blessed to have these people that give of their time and come in and spend time with these warriors and just sit down with them and just say, hey, share your story if you want to, and let's write something together. And it's not white coat to warrior. It's not doctor to warrior. It's just a country music or Americana singer-songwriter that becomes friends with them. And within 3 hours, you hear, they cried together, they hugged together, they laughed together, and they come out with such an amazing song that showcases how resilient we are. And, like we had 5 songs written this past weekend, and the power of music is these same things that were keeping these veterans and first responders up at night, to where some of them were drinking because of it. Like the guy that had his dad commit suicide after his mom passed away. And he spent that same time of that the story would keep him up at night, and he tried to bury it back in a figurative tote back in a closet to where he never had to think about it. Well, when you're drinking or doing other stuff, it pops up and rears its ugly head when you don't want it to. So take that thing, whatever that thing is, and put it by your coffee and remind yourself of how resilient you are. You overcame that. I know it struggled like back in 2007 or 2015, whatever you went through. Even if it's sexual trauma, tornadoes, hurricanes, whatever you've gone through in life, stop hiding and running from it and put it by your coffee to remind you you overcame it. You're resilient. You're amazing. You got through it. Keep moving forward. And so we watched them write this song, and now they have 3 minutes and they can listen to their story that used to keep them up at night, now motivates them to be better.
Well, I see a collaboration in the future, brother, and I would like you to be able to drive and go anywhere. I like your playlist and stuff, but if it's constant 100% veterans and first responders all day long, all night long, all forever long, there's another opportunity there.
And I'll come in and bring my cowbell.
Well, you and Frank can play the toothless harmonica. I think that's what he plays.
Frank's on the spoons. Anybody with Frank? Frank's on the spoons. I've got the cowbell. Frank's on the spoons.
Cool.
He can do the spoons because he doesn't have to worry about his teeth falling out, at least.
Yeah. I used to play the saxophone until my teeth started falling out.
Get back to the spoons, Frank.
Can't bite down on nothing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Hey, well, what?
Mr. Stuckey, tell us more about AHERO and what you guys are working on right now, brother.
Yeah, so right now we just finished the Warrior Hookup, the 15th annual Warrior Hookup, and we brought 22 warriors in to Pensacola Beach, and it was awesome to watch the community come together. The boats were phenomenal. We have these privately owned boats, thanks to people like Matt McDonald and Reed Nichols and Pat Ivey and Doug Pasiti and just all these wonderful boat owners like Jason Perry who give their boats for the weekend. And that's really the carrot that draws everybody to the Gulf. And so we got these beautiful boats that are donated. That gets them to come to the fishing trip. And then we spend 4 days in a beach house with no alcohol, obviously no drugs. And there's 4 days of clarity. And you watch people come in as strangers and reserved and kind of reclusive a little bit. And in 2 or 3 days, they're hugging each other. They're upset because they have to leave the next day. And they're sharing all their stories. And you watch this cohesion happen over a 2 to 3 day period to where they can have that listen to understand opportunity and be transparent with each other in a non-judgmental setting. And they realize on the second day, it's not about fishing. They got to fish, which was the icing on the cake, but it's about growing and watching these awesome relationships created over now 16 plus years. I've watched on Facebook where people are going to each other's weddings and birthday parties, and they met at the Warrior Hookup 15 years ago, and they're still friends now doing their own stuff together and spreading out that same AHERO mantra wherever. And we have deep sea fishing, hunting, freshwater fishing, music, the music program, thanks to Mike Carrata, who's now our assistant director. He was our director and helped us start AHERO Records. And now Jeff Sylvie, who's been writing for George Strait for 20 plus years. He's the new director. And the music program has really taken off thanks to Jeff and Mike Carrata. And anything ethical and morally sound, like Cup of Joe for AHERO, where they meet for coffee. And again, it's just an opportunity to stop, get rid of the noise. Where was I supposed to be? Where am I? Where do I want to be? How do I get there? And the most powerful thing I enjoy at the beach is we leave our cell phones in the house, no Apple Watches, no any way you can communicate with the outside world. you separate on the beach. The sun is coming up, so it's sunrise around 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's 15 minutes out and 15 minutes back, so a total of 30 minutes. I don't want you talking to each other, and I want you listening to the ocean, talking to your creator. If you're not Christian, whatever you believe in, just having a reflection time. Let the waves wash away all the sins of yesterday, and just listen to the ocean, and just think about, again, where am I? Where did I want to be? At 46, where did I think I was going to be? Where do I want to be, and how do I get there? And not worry about, the mistakes from depression, but learn from them. And how do I get through all the things I have to get through in a healthy manner to where I can get healthier 1% better? And the crazy thing about the ocean is it's enormous, and if you let something go, it's gone forever. And so let it go. But as humans, we like to tie fishing string to depression and anxiety and things that bother us. So when we don't want to, we'll just reel that thing back in and take a look at it. And we don't let it stay out there. We want to bring it back and remind ourselves of these traumas. So if you want to do that, remind yourself in a healthy manner and really get through it. But don't bring up stuff from the past to create depression or anxiety. And the last thing I tell them, which is the biggest thing in my last 2 years that's done a complete 180 for me. Who am I hanging out with? Where am I going? Who should I not hang out with ever again? And who should I hang out with instead to make me healthier physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually? And we all have those people that are absolute parasites and that take your time, that call you a drama, that are only one-sided relationships that take from you. So who are you currently spending all of your time with? And who should you replace that person with to live healthier? Where am I going, and where should I go instead? Now, you could go all the way into food and everything else, but really, if you start with those two, who am I spending time with? Who should I spend time with instead? Where am I going? Where should I go instead? You can really do a 180 with your life pretty quick. And I was on a podcast the other day, and I told them the thing I think about is wealthy people are wealthy because they invest. Poor people are poor because they consume. And that's not financially. That's in life. Wealthy people invest in their food. Wealthy people invest in their relationships. Wealthy people are wealthy because they look at everything. And it doesn't have to be financial wealth. You can look at somebody that's super healthy and going in the right direction spiritually. That's wealth. Poor people consume. Poor people take. Poor people don't invest. They just take. They're parasites. So really, if you want to live a healthy life and a wealthy life, really invest in relationships. Really invest in your physical life and do hard things. Like I do jiu-jitsu, I work out, I eat healthy. Invest in things that are tough to make you better. Invest in your spiritual life. Even if you're not Christian, invest your time. You're watching 6 hours of Netflix and you're binging on Netflix. What could you do with that time instead of binging on Netflix? You could get healthier, you could get smarter. And the last thing I'll finish off with this, and I just taught an entrepreneurial class or helped teach the leadership piece at UAB. This is conservative numbers. We waste 40 days a year, 40 24-hour periods, binge watching Netflix, drinking alcohol, and scrolling on social media. If you would stop those, you would get 40 24-hour periods back. Now, the drinking numbers was 2 days a week, drinking 2 to 3 drinks a week. Now, when I was a drinker, I far surpassed that, my friend. I was a professional. I was like Aaron. I drank every day, and I only had one, but it was one bottle. So I was wasting a lot of time. But, if you just look at your life and take an audit and really take a sheet of paper out, how am I currently living physically, financially, emotionally, and most importantly, spiritually, and rate yourself. And you don't have to show anybody. You don't have to even show your spouse. I encourage you to. but rate yourself how you're actually doing with those 4 facets, and then create a plan to get healthier in all those 4 things. If you think of a 4-legged stool, if you take one of those legs out, it's going to wobble a little bit. But if you take 2 of those legs out, what happens to the stool? So if you're taking the physical or the emotional or the physical or the spiritual or 2 of those out, and usually we take 2 or 3, the stool's going to fall over. So at AHERO, we really just spend 4 days showing them a healthy schedule. And it's 4 days, and it's fishing, hunting, whatever the activity is, doesn't matter. That's the carrot to get them there. But it's 4 days of how can I show you a healthy schedule? And if you mirror this with the rest of your life, you're going to get better. If you start this and continue this process on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you're going to get healthier. And it's not about getting healthier overnight, but 1% better and absolute control of getting healthier in those 4 facets every single day and setting realistic goals. But if you don't ever set it, we get to 80, or if you're lucky enough to live past 70 and you're like, man, my life's over. I could have lived a little better. So let's just stop now and be deliberate with our planning.
I love the mission. I love what you're getting done. I love all the concepts, and the thing. So I'm what's called, what would you call me, Andrea? Be nice. Perfectionist. And it's like when you go to the gym, you want to do all the things so many days in a row. And this is my failure in the fact that once you mess up once, you mess it all up. And that's not true. What is essential, what is critical, and I know you got your numbers and you got your plan and you're doing what you're in your program. Do one thing and move forward. And work with the concept of being the version of you tomorrow should be better than the version of you today.
Absolutely.
And if you're not getting in that space, you know what? The only person in real life that's critiquing you is this person, not me. It's the person looking at you in the mirror. So I want to say lighten up on yourselves, folks, but at the same time, if you're sitting on the couch and you've sat on the couch for days and there's not a plan but to sit on the couch, and let's try something different. Let's try something different. One step. I mean, it's put one foot in front of the other. I mean, that's a classic. What is that? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer song? There's a.
I can do the whole thing for you, and I do a majestic job at it.
Yeah. There's the rabbit one too, where you hop around, whatever. Yeah. But
it's Dora. Dora, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Oh yeah. We can do some Dora. We can plant that. Maybe that's what we should do. We should just plant.
Where are you all going to? Man, what the heck is going on?
I like it though, man. I'll tell you, 90% showing up, and all the opportunities I've had, it's like you said, man, I got off the couch and I showed up and I volunteered somewhere, or I went, and it never fails. I look at my calendar and I'm like, man, I really don't want to go to and fill in the blank, whatever that thing is.
Sure.
And then I go there and I meet 2 or 3 really amazing people. And then an opportunity falls in my lap, or even if it's not then, 2 or 3 months later, somebody messages me, hey, I met you at that thing a couple months ago. There's this opportunity I think you fit in perfect for. But if I would have never gotten off the couch, I would have never had that opportunity. So 90% is just showing up, and especially today, because I hate to say it, people are super lazy today, and everyone's on their phones and watching Netflix at home. So if you just show up, that's 90% of it, because people aren't going to show up. And then if you have a great attitude and you show up and you're pleasurable to be around, man, you're going to win. You're going to win all day long.
Be like Dolly. That's what I've been saying all week. Just be like Dolly.
Sure. I listened to that on the tractor when I was putting in Greenfields this afternoon, and I was listening to the whole Dolly thing, and they were talking about Dolly, and that's what they said. They actually talked. She actually spoke a little bit of it And she just said she's never yelled at anyone, but she's always been stern with business because she loves everything about her business. She doesn't want to be taken advantage of, but she prays before she makes all of her decisions. And so they're not her decisions, they're godly decisions. So if it is a mistake, it's a godly mistake.
I love it. I love it. We do have a piece in our vernaculars that says, you know, to serve is therapeutic. And now this isn't the serving in with the uniform, folks. This is taking time to do something for others. Now, let's be honest. You don't owe anyone anything anywhere in the world. You don't. That's the reality. And there are chances at your lowest times, here's the reality, that someone's not coming for you. There's some realities. But if you put yourself in that check and say, you know what, I know I feel great when I help people. There's been many times where I don't know that I've ever sat with our board and said, hey, I'm ready to hang this up, man. I'm tired. I'm worn down. I'm ready. I know that there's so many people counting on what we're doing with the WeP3 that, hey, and again, I don't owe anyone anything, but I don't want to let anyone down. And that one opportunity might be there. We've been here for 320 episodes, and there was once we canceled the show. We were coming off a 3-day event. We were tired. We had a lot of work to do just to close the day down on a Sunday. And I looked at Andrea and I'm like, I don't have enough gas in the tank. I can't do the show. And this was early morning, Sunday morning. And we looked at each other. Okay, fine. We called both guests up and we said, hey, we're sorry. We'll reschedule. We just can't. And this was in, I think it was year 2. Yeah, year 2, the 2nd October. And I had a mission from Puerto Rico with us. Brain fart. We'll get it. I had to return an RV. We had to unpack the day. We had to outload everything. And I'm just like, okay. And we had 4 veteran musicians up in Minnesota at an Airbnb. And I'm just like, we got to get them onto the planes. We got to get this all done, blah, blah, blah. Everyone was understandable. I got my work done, got home, and I sat down on the couch, probably the biggest mistake of my life for that moment. No, it was. It's what I needed. And I was out. And the next thing you know, someone is wiggling my big toe, and they're like, you know, your show's live right now. And I'm like, what? The people that wanted us to be here started messaging us when we weren't there at 1800 Central Standard Time and started contacting, and Andrea hopped on and launched the show. And then I'm like, oh, I show up and it's like, hey, and we had what we call a shoot the poo episode where it's just us, which doesn't happen very often. And again, it was nice. Again, now our cup is being filled because our network says we need you here on Sunday nights at 1800 Central Standard Time. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this forever. I don't know that. But we have not missed in 320 episodes. And we actually probably have about 30 episodes on top of that. Plus, on Mondays, we come back here with the WeP3 weekly debrief, which now doubles that number to 640. We've been here for 640 episodes. Show me another group that's done that. And it's not about patting me on the back, but do something next. Do something next.
That's awesome. Hey,
Lee Stuckey.
I will tell you to listen to or watch. You talked about filling your tank up. I watched the best YouTube video that's 8 minutes and like 30 seconds. And I was really draining my tank. I was running to events and speaking engagements and traveling and really just, when I would see my wife, we were like passing each other and doing, she would run the farm when I was gone and I would switch off and run it when she was gone. And I walked in, we had 16 men staying at the lodge for a discipleship, like men's weekend. And I snuck in the back just to make sure they were okay and they didn't need anything. and it started this part of filling and draining your tank. And the video is called Dead Leader Running. And it's a preacher, but even if you're not Christian, it's phenomenal, and it doesn't have to be Christian focused, but it's an awesome, awesome illustration and discussion about making sure your tank is full and stays full. And I can give you the synopsis. In life, we're too quick if we have really busy schedules. Like, I like jujitsu, I like to run, I love my dogs, I love my wife, not in that order. My wife is priority after God, but for some reason she gets after the dogs, but I do love her, if you're listening, honey. But those are my things that I really love. And then the things that drain my tank, I know what drain them. You know, people that are parasitic and all the, you know, meetings that don't go anywhere, meetings for no reason. Like, I have the things that drain my tank too. And so my wife knows everything that fills my tank, and she knows everything that drains my tank. And if I have meetings coming up, which I do this week, I have a lot of very strenuous, stressful meetings coming up. I go to more jujitsu. I walk my dogs more. I spend more time with my wife. I cook for my wife. We set up a date to where we pull out in the middle of the week and we go do something together. I have a really busy, stressful week. I fill up my tank more, and I intentionally look at my schedule and increase all the things that fill up my tank. As humans, we're too quick to not do that stuff and say, I don't have time because I have all these other things that I know are going to drain my tank. So really just taking the time to first write out and know what fills your tank and what drains your tank, and know the same list for your family, your spouse, your kids, everything. And if my wife sees me start doing this and going down, she's like, hey, don't you have jujitsu tonight at 6:30? Or, hey, let's go walk the dogs. Or, hey, let's go sit in a shooting house and do some deer inventory. She knows the things that do that. But we catch each other to make sure we're not going on empty, because when you start draining that puppy and you increase more stressful stuff, it's emotional suicide. And then you start reacting to things the wrong way. You're not responding with control. You're stressed out, and you're becoming a lesser and worse version of yourself. Whereas if you're intentional and if you really have some planning, you'll never get to that point, and you won't allow your spouse or your kids to get to that point either. So it's called Dead Leader Running, and it's 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I think it's right around there, and it is absolutely worth watching once a month to remind yourself.
Outstanding. We'll get that link up in here as well. Aaron.
Yes, sir.
What are you working on right now, brother? What are you getting out there?
Well, here recently, my writing has really been geared differently than what I've written in the past. I've really noticed, you know, as a Christian, being a Christian doesn't make me always, well, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, I still go through anxiety. I still deal with depression sometimes. You know, I have an issue with, you know, getting close to people ever since my mom left. Because when someone you care about and you think should love you walks out on you, it's hard to get close to people, because in my mind, it's like people always leave. You know, eventually that person's going to leave. So it's hard for me to get close to people. So I still deal with things, you know, mentally with, like I said, anxiety, depression. I'm probably my worst critic to myself. Just like you said, you know, we're always our own worst critic. But I've been writing more of, it almost sounds like a darker side of music if you listen to the lyrics. But when you listen to Christian music now, you always hear the first couple of verses, you know, you're in this pit, you're in this hole, you're in this dark place. And then towards the end of the song, you have that God came in and rescued me. But I started thinking about, you know, the people who listen to these songs day in and day out, or they listen to worship music, or they go into church Sunday morning and they worship as hard as they can, and they leave still in that valley. And it's not that they've lost their faith or that they don't believe God's going to get them out of it. It's that they're still walking through it. So, you know, I've written 5 songs in the past couple of months, which is weird. They're like in reverse order. So the first song that I wrote maybe 2 months ago, a month and a half, it's called Back to You. And then I wrote the other 4 songs in reverse order that lead up to Back to You. So it's pretty weird, and I didn't plan it to come out that way, and they all kind of fit this storyline. But I started working on songs that, like I said earlier, they sit with people in those moments of darkness when they're still doing everything right. They still have faith. They're still praying every night. But I don't know about you. Every time I've prayed, I don't always get an answer immediately. I still have to go through it and constantly, I pray for this thing and I keep praying my faith. I try to build my faith and keep it strong. But we don't always immediately get those answers. And that's where my songwriting has gone to. Each song is not going to end in, oh, God got me out of it. Some of these songs do end with, I'm still in it, but I'm still hopeful. I still have faith, and I'm still going to keep trying because I know at the end of this, I'm going to come out a better person and a better version of myself. So that's kind of where I've been at right now with songwriting. So it's definitely a different approach than what I've done in the past.
You're still muted, buddy.
Sometimes you made the comment that, sometimes you don't get the answer when you want it or how you want it. And that's the piece that's the classic adage is, you know what? You can ask the big man for everything and anything you want, how and when and where or why. If it doesn't align with his plan, it ain't good. Yep. We have to get comfortable with that piece. Yep. And that's tough. I struggle with that piece. But sometimes that answer is a straight up no. And that's another thing that I don't really like either. So we'll wrestle. He'll get to win again one more time. And then we get back at it. But I just hear the conviction, and I know that being a person of faith, that's not the goal. The goal is not to say, hey, look at me, I'm a spiritualist, I believe in this. I know that's not the goal, but I have zero doubts in any part of the conversation of who you serve, what you do, and how you're going to represent yourself. And I just want to tell you I appreciate you, Aaron. You're a good man, and I'm excited to hear more from you. What's the next song we want to do, brother?
Well, let's go ahead and do Strength of a Survivor. I think that'd be a good one to go with.
All right. Do you got a lead in for it?
What's that?
Do you have a lead in for it or just let it roll?
Well, I know I kind of talked about it earlier, but I think just being asked to sing somebody else's song is kind of nerve-wracking if you've ever had that opportunity. It's like, man, I want to make sure I deliver this right. I want to make sure it sounds how they want it to sound and gets the message across and has that emotional tie to it. So when I was asked to sing this, that was one of my biggest fears. When I went to studio, my heart was just like racing. But Jeff and Mike, they've done a great job, doing a few run-throughs, getting myself comfortable with it to where I didn't have those butterflies. I had all that worked out, and just getting it to the point where we really wanted it. So first time I've ever been asked to sing a song that anybody else has written, and I'm definitely honored and grateful that this song came my way. So Strength of a Survivor.
This female Marine was also suicidal, completely lost. And now she's happily married. She's doing great. She's super healthy. And she was at the point of taking her life and then really got involved, like we were talking about earlier, getting involved in volunteering and became a part of AHERO and was absolutely integral in a lot of growth in the Warrior Hookup and some other trips. It just pours her heart. And once she started doing that, she ended up getting baptized and having a real close relationship with God. And she's still with us. And she was at the point of taking her life about 6 years ago.
This is Aaron Justice, Strength of a Survivor.
It's been a dark and rugged trail I've been walking. Sometimes I wonder how I made it through those nights. Been to hell and back, but still I kept searching. Finally found the source behind the light. I felt my life didn't have too much to offer. It took coming to the end of myself, exhausted from questions with no answers. I traded in my pride for something else. Oh, there's power in faith. It can calm the seven seas and wash your fears away. Unfailing love and endless grace helps you get up as many times as it takes. All these scars on my heart made me wiser. They gave me strength of a survivor. I was running from the only one who could save me, barely holding on through all the pain. He took the weight of the world off my shoulders. What he's done for me, for you, he'll do the same. Oh, there's power in faith. It can calm the seven seas and wash your fears away. Unfailing love and endless grace helps you get up as many times as it takes. All these scars on my heart made me wiser, gave me strength of a survivor. As many times as it takes. Oh, these scars on my heart made me wiser, gave me strength of a survivor.
That is Aaron Justice, Strength of a Survivor.
Awesome song, man.
Crazy thing is, man, I think about 2 days before we went in the studio with it, I started coming down with a really bad sinus infection. So I was super nervous. Like, I hope I can pull this off. Jeff made me sound good, so.
Yeah. You had him and Mike pulling for you.
Yeah. Guys worried to death. I'm like, oh, of course, this is the best time for a sinus infection.
Heck, they put a big band up there with Sonny Bono, and he sounded good. Didn't hurt that he had Cher standing next to him.
We have a new singer-songwriter in AHERO as well, Casey Fall, F-A-L-L. And man, she is absolutely phenomenal. And we brought her in. So I had one of those times in life to where I hit a wall and my tank was empty last year. And in September, my wife looked at me and was like, man, you got to go somewhere. And if you don't go somewhere, I'm sending you. Like, nobody knows what you're going through right now, but I do, and I'm watching you. You got to get up and leave and go somewhere and just check out for at least a week. And so I called Boulder Crest Warrior Path. Boulder Crest has a program out in Texas and Virginia called Warrior Path, and it's 7 days. You can't be on your cell phone. It's recharge your batteries. And they really do a phenomenal job about getting at what drives you to drinking or whatever your things are, as opposed to you just like stopping that behavior. And so I spent 7 days out there. And while I was there, there was an Army Ranger Sergeant Major, and we were, both meat eaters. And I was like, I'm going to work out with this guy in the morning. And I knew we were going to hit it off. And so we worked out every morning and PT'd before session started. And he said, man, I didn't realize you had a record label. I've got an awesome friend that just started singing and playing. Her name is Casey Fall. She's got a beautiful voice. You'll absolutely love her. And, just give her a shot, give her a call once we leave here. And so spent that 7 days at Warrior Path at Boulder Crest, which again, if you're a veteran or first responder, male or female, look it up. It's an awesome program. Their slogan is struggle well, which I really like. We're all going to struggle. Let's struggle well. So I called Casey when I got out of there and just hit it off immediately. We started writing music together and collaborating. And I said, listen, when can I bring you here? And when can I bring you to meet everybody? And when we brought her in, everybody fell in love with her. And she came in from Washington State. She attached to everybody really quickly. And now she's writing with Dana Black, who's wrote George Strait's #1 and #2 all-time songs. And she writes with her all the time. And she's a part of our AHERO family. And actually our first legitimate AHERO Records signed artist. And she's got a song called Folded Wings and 7 more on a new album we just released on her. So I encourage everybody to look up Casey Fall. Just a beautiful voice. Americana, more Americana than country, but just really, really great, powerful voice. And I want to get her to sing something with Aaron in the future because I think combined their voices would really, really do well in a duet.
And you can see Casey Fall on We Got Your 6 at 6, September 27th.
That's awesome. She's going to be on the show?
Yeah.
Nice. Yes. She's awesome, man. You're going to love her. She's a helicopter pilot.
We've had a couple. This is where it's bad because we've had so many guests. We had a helicopter pilot on mid-year last year, a female, just outstanding. I'm super excited anyway. But don't want to take anything away from any of these females that are actually getting out there and getting it done and killing it amongst the dudes. And
flying a helicopter in Washington State along the coast, how chaotic was that? And doing the rescue stuff, like that's crazy intense, flying a helicopter in those conditions. So she's a rock star in my book.
Absolutely. Super excited to have her on. And I think you've got some connections also, Lee, that will help us build the library. But we'll talk about that offline here and keep building the relationship. Well, Frank said we should forego the news tonight, that this is much more important. I don't know that I should bring it up because it's you guys follow Musgraves at all? She's not a veteran. She's a country singer.
Country singer, yeah. Casey Musgraves?
Yeah. Did you see what she did this last week?
No, I don't.
Talking about the live show prop.
There's some disco ball. There's the disco ball. I don't know the why. I just tell me the why. It is what it is. Apparently, it was a conversation with Grandpa or Grandma, and if you're going to do something, do it big. This is another level, folks. I'm a guy that can appreciate funny and go into the next level. So it's not very JC like. I'm just going to put it that way. But I'm good with a good laugh every once in a while, and I can do the dark stuff, but I don't get it. Someone, if you get out there and check it out, tell me the why. Someone tell me the why. Eichmann, you tell me the why. Okay?
It's just disco balls. It's not just a disco ball; it's disco balls.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know.
Andrea always takes things too far.
I feel like I need to tell the elephant story again.
No. Yeah. If you do a little AI check on elephant story, it's been like 18 episodes this year, so we'll pass it, Frank. We'll pass it.
Oh, it doesn't get old though.
Oh yeah. So we're going to forego the news. We'll get back to Lee Stuckey. What is the vision? Where are you going? What do we need to do to support, brother?
Yeah, I mean, just really raise awareness or help us raise awareness about AHERO and AHEROUSA.org. Any veterans, first responders that are struggling, physical, financial, emotional, spiritual. We're just struggling to find a group. We're all about a hand up, not a hand out. And there's so many nonprofits that are veteran nonprofits. I mean, there's like over 30,000. And the one thing that I've learned after doing this for almost 17 years and going to other nonprofit events is to honor the donor dollars. We removed alcohol about 8 or 9 years ago. And so completely getting alcohol away from it. A lot of the donors don't realize that some of these nonprofits, when they donate money, they're actually buying booze with it. And so you don't know if these people are on medication where they can't drink. You don't know if it's a person is like me. I'm an alcoholic. And so I show up at an event and I'm not at home with my wife and she doesn't know what I'm doing and I get pressured into drinking. And now your nonprofit event just had me fall off the wagon and I go home to a pissed off wife and I've been drinking at a nonprofit event. And really just it honors the 4-day period or however long your nonprofit event is. It gives them an opportunity to have clarity, to have honest connections, and to get the most out of that 3 or 4 day experience to where the donors are donating money and contributing to a nonprofit that actually help those people get better. If you want to drink a couple beers when you get back home, do that when you get back home. I would just recommend if you're a nonprofit, just remove alcohol from your program. And that's really my thing now. Like it's just killing people and it's making people worse. It doesn't do anything beneficial to any veterans or first responders. And when you have trauma, alcohol, and pharmaceuticals, it's not if, it's when something bad is going to happen. I mean, I was at a nonprofit event that was not anything I had to do with. I was just present. And it was a young man who was in his 30s with Down syndrome. And the Alabama nonprofit gave the guy tequila and alcohol. And I watched a guy with Down syndrome drinking alcohol and was like, I have a special needs brother. There's no way in the world I would ever give my special needs brother alcohol. But if the donors knew they were giving donation money to this special needs nonprofit and they were getting a kid with Down syndrome or a man with Down syndrome drunk on tequila, are you kidding me? And so really just removing yourself from it, making sure you're honoring those donation dollars and they're actually contributing to whatever cause you're doing to help those people get healthier. So there's just no place in it. Really just sharing that message about how can we genuinely help people honor donation dollars, and life is a people business. Let's help each other get healthy and healthier and live a happier life together. But not taken and really, man, I'll tell you, it's just a poison. I've had a bad struggle with watching alcohol destroy a lot of my friends, watching people commit suicide from alcohol. And after running a nonprofit for suicide prevention for almost 17 years, I don't know a single person who's committed suicide sober. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I don't know anyone that's committed suicide sober, which tells me if I can keep them sober and have clarity, we can get through anything together. So just spreading that message as much as I can. And then the neat thing we started was legacy leadership. And that's for corporate America. And that's taking really the AHERO model and helping people get better physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And going out and doing keynote speaking engagements for companies, organizations, colleges, high schools, whatever. And how do we help everybody get better physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually? And teaching corporate leadership how to absolutely pour into their team. And you maximize your profits by taking care of your people better. So take care of your people. We take them through a full 1-day audit. We help them build their company to where the focus is servant leadership. And if they've been focused on the bottom dollar and just money, we just work with them to shift that into servant leadership. And then we maximize their profits through their people loving the company they work for. And so that's the legacy leadership. Lee Stuckey, legacy.com, legacy leadership. And I've really enjoyed working and doing that in the last year and doing keynote speaking engagements. And and just getting out and loving on people and sharing our message. And the last thing that I've been involved in recently is that my best friend is Lex McMahon, who is the late Ed McMahon's son. And he's just a phenomenal human being. I met him when I was fighting professional MMA, and I met him through that. One of my training partners was a UFC fighter, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, that I used to do striking camps with, and met him through him. And he started bringing me to these armed forces entertainment to go visit the troops overseas and teach jiu-jitsu. And so teaching Brazilian jiu-jitsu and visiting all the troops in Romania, Bulgaria, Crete, England, just all these different places, Estonia, Latvia, Poland. And we travel over there and we do a 2-hour jiu-jitsu and MMA clinic with UFC fighters that we bring in there. And for 2 hours, we're teaching them how to do tough stuff and the warrior ethos part. And then the last part of it, we're telling them our testimony. And I'm talking about suicide, and I'm talking to them about alcoholism, and about the tough stuff that though I'm a warrior, I still have stuff. And at every single base we went to, at least 1 or 2 people would pull us aside and say, I don't want to be here, or I'm struggling with addiction, or I have a family member that's struggling. And so every single base we went to, we were able to help these warriors, and we use jiu-jitsu and MMA as that conversation piece. And so I've been blessed to travel with Lex McMahon, and it's called the Frontline Fighters, and it's thanks to Armed Forces Entertainment. And Armed Forces Entertainment has been taking us overseas and continues to take us overseas to visit our war fighters on the front lines, tell them we love them, and tell them, hey, it's okay to not be okay. Let's get through it together.
Outstanding. Thank you for all you're doing, Lee Stuckey. And you're one of those, we constantly have the people on our show here, and it's like there's never one like mission. There's never just one thing that all these amazing people, and you made the comment there's over 30, yeah, the number is 58,000 organizations helping veterans and first responders. But you're involved like 8 of them, which is not a bad thing because it's the 8 that are getting stuff done. And so, again, appreciate what you're doing. We're excited to collaborate. We're excited to do more work together. And hopefully we can bring them all home eventually. Aaron Justice.
Yeah.
What's the vision, brother? What do you want to get done?
Oh, man. Honestly, just trying to get back, I think, just to my true self. After I recorded Love Like Jesus Does, I was trying to find, how musicians and artists, there's a branding thing to it. And even in Christian music, I hate to even say it, it's still an industry, but I'm glad to be more with like AHERO. They're awesome, and they're not going to be the kind of person that's going to make you be somebody that you're not, which I greatly appreciate. They let you come in and write songs, be honest, with who you are, and share that music with others that can help other people struggling with things that you do. But throughout, after working and doing Love Like Jesus Does, I was trying to brand myself. Like, maybe I need to do this. I need to sound like this. And I almost got to the point where I really lost sight of who I really was and who God wanted me to be, and was trying to be who everybody else wanted. So now, just like I was mentioning earlier, I'm just trying to get back more to that more honest songwriting, things that I'm going through that maybe other people are facing that don't know how to put words to it, so they can relate to that and be like, hey, someone else understands what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with, and I'm not alone in this. So that's kind of the mission. I don't know if I'll ever cut like a full record or go on some huge tour. I mean, I have dreams. I've dreamed of being an artist since I was like 13. I'm a huge Brad Paisley fan. Dude's a beast at guitar. I've always wanted to play guitar like him. It's probably never happened, but I've always been a really big dreamer. But here lately, it's more based off of I'm going to do what God called me to do and not worry so much about trying to get to a certain level. Whatever happens, God's going to make it work out to where it needs to be. And that's the hard part, is surrendering it to him. So just trying to be more honest with myself, my songwriting, trying to stop putting a brand on myself and just being Aaron Justice. So, this next, what I've been working on in this more recent songs I've been doing is just kind of introducing people to the real Aaron, what he struggles with, and things that he goes through. Even being a Christian, I still deal with, like I said, depression, anxiety. Sometimes they creep up on me. And as you can probably tell, I'm not the best public speaker. I let my music and lyrics do the speaking for me. So I've never been great at putting into words how I feel and actually talking to people. So music has become my therapy. So that's pretty much the goal. I want people to know the real me through my music, and want people to know that they're not sitting alone in those darkest moments, that there are people who still struggle with things that they struggle with, and we're sitting in that valley with them.
What's this last song you want us to put up there, brother?
Were you able to pull that? I know I don't have it like professionally recorded like on
Don't worry about
Spotify or anything like that, but that Welcome to the Show.
Yes.
Were you able to get that one?
Yep.
I think I sent you the link to it. Yeah, I think I want to do that one because that one's kind of the first kind of kickoff to this little series of songs I've been writing. And the crazy thing is it turned into this whole theater, putting on an act kind of thing. That's kind of with the lyrics that you'll hear it in the song. It's basically saying, a lot of us, we wear a mask. We tell people we're fine all the time just because if you're like me, I feel like people have enough that they're going through on their own, and that I don't need to share my problems with somebody else, and that's just something else weighing on them. So I'm fine, I'm doing great, because I don't want to burden somebody else with my issues. So I don't know if anybody else is like that. But a lot of times we get so used to wearing this mask, telling people we're fine, and it's a constant, everyday, putting on an act kind of thing that we almost lose sight of who we really are. So that's what this song is about. It's called Welcome to the Show. So
here's Aaron Justice. Welcome to the show.
Lights go down, the curtain falls. Listen to the fading round of applause. I played the part, put up my wall, gave everything till I had nothing at all. Said all the right lines, came in at the right time. I made them all believe that I was fine. No reason in hiding, there's nowhere to go. I think I've come to the end of my rope. I'm tired of fighting what I can't control. Why can't I leave well enough alone? 'Cause it's breaking me down, it's wearing me thin. When morning comes it starts all over again. Fake it till I make it, welcome to the show. This is the me everybody knows. Slowly bow, walk off the stage. They think they know me, but they only really know my name. This character that I portray has become my own reality. Give them the encore, keep them coming back for more. I'm trapped inside this revolving door. No reason in hiding, there's nowhere to go. I think I've come to the end of my rope. I'm tired of fighting what I can't control. Why can't I leave well enough alone? 'Cause it's breaking me down, it's wearing me thin. When morning comes it starts all over again. Fake it till I make it, welcome to the show. This is the me everybody knows. And I can't escape this masquerade. I don't even know myself. A room full of strangers in this charade. No reason in hiding, there's nowhere to go. I think I've come to the end of my rope. I'm tired of fighting what I can't control. Why can't I leave well enough alone? 'Cause it's breaking me down, it's wearing me thin. When morning comes, it starts all over again. Fake it till I make it. Welcome to the show. This is the me everybody knows. Yeah, I don't even know myself. I don't even know myself.
That is Aaron Justice. Welcome to the show. Right buttons. Right buttons. We got the right buttons. I feel like we're just getting to the tip of the iceberg and getting to know both of these guys, and we're running up onto our 2-hour kind of piece. And so I don't think this or these conversations are over. It's just the start of new ones. But we're at the point of where we need to shut the show down and carry on with our way. And we usually let Frank start the next section, and this is called Final Thoughts. Something was spurred up during the conversation during tonight, or something's laying heavy on your heart that you want the rest of the world to hear. Frank the Myth.
All right, folks. This has been another one of those shows that just kind of sheds light on a lot of things that that I've seen and I've done and I've worked on. But the thing that people don't understand is, you got regular musicians, you got regular writers, you got regular actors, and they oftentimes have to generate emotions to do their job. That's the big difference between veterans, first responders. We don't have to generate the emotions. They're there. And that's what comes out in what we do. I mean, what we do and what we create is just as much for people to get and understand as it is for us to get and understand. Because when writers write, they write a story, but when they write the story, it's exposing all the things that they want to talk about that's not really them because they're put in a story. And just like music, and Aaron, his music is something for people to enjoy, for people to hear and understand. But it's his message that's important. It's him that's important. And that's why we need to continue to promote and look up to and support all the veterans and first responders we have that do stuff like this, because it's not just something for them to do, it's their purpose, and they found that, and it's very important. And continuing to work on that purpose and make things not just for other people but for themselves, it's part of their journey. And God bless them all. I love every bit, and I wish I had enough room in my house to stock all the woodworking and CDs and albums and everything else that come out, and go to all the different veteran support groups and just be there. And it's just an enjoyment to be there amongst fellow veterans and applaud what they do. God bless you all.
Thank you, Frank. Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Final thoughts.
Well, I don't know if anybody seen my message. I wasn't able to hear Frank at all.
Okay.
So I didn't get to hear any of what he said. So I apologize.
Super powerful. I'll fill you in after the show.
Okay. That's like, man, I was trying to really, I'm like, I don't hear it at all. So, final thought. First off, thank you guys so much for even having me on here. I appreciate any opportunity I can get to kind of help spread the message and just letting people know they're not alone through their hardest times and darkest struggles. I'm really grateful for AHERO Records and what they do. and thankful for what you guys do as well. And just bringing awareness to all these things, with service members, veterans, emergency response members. It's awesome, and I think a lot of times they don't get the recognition that they deserve as far as what they do with their time and with their life, just serving others. And they spend their whole careers doing that. So I'm always very grateful for people who take time to stop and listen and help people who have done that just because they love helping other people. So thank you guys for returning those favors and serving those who have spent their life and their time serving others. So it means a lot, I'm sure. And I've never was like a combat veteran. I never deployed or anything, but I can say for the people that I got to meet while I was in, I heard a lot of stories about things they went through. So to know that you guys are out here doing this and being a voice for them, it really means a lot. So thank you guys for everything you guys do.
Thank you, Aaron. Miss Eichmann.
I want to play on something that Lee said earlier, the phrase where am I going and where should I go instead? That puts a lot of thought. I mean, you have to think that one through. Where are you real stuck? Where is it that you really want to go? Where did you think you were going? Where did you see yourself? Like, so much can play into all of that. And I kind of saw that tying into Aaron's last song. Just, what are we hiding from? I'm that person, Aaron. I didn't serve. And so I'm here to just be here for anyone who I'm intrigued. I will say I was always, I guess I served those who served, if that's how you could say it. And so who's going to help you find that place, find that position, find that push that you need to get where you need to be going? So I think a lot of the whole show revolved around, where is that place? There'll always be a new place, I think, too. You'll get there. And that wasn't the end. Your story continues. And so there will always be hopefully a new place. And maybe there is an end all for you once you figure that out. You know exactly where you want to be at the end. And so thank you for sharing all that, Lee and Aaron. I appreciate you coming on. Weird, didn't know you two were connected. And that is just another amazing piece of, I feel like our world just gets tighter and tighter. And that's good because that's what we're working for. That's why we started this and continued this show, our nonprofit. Right in our bylaws, it says we will collaborate with other mission or other groups that have the same mission as us. And this all fits right into supporting healing, being there and going through. And that's the first responders and the military as well. So thank you. Thank you for putting those ideas in words, and Lee action, and Aaron in music. Thank you.
Mr. Stuckey.
Yeah, I mean, the filter piece is huge. And if you look at how social media is designed, it's designed to put up filters to where it looks like I'm okay. And I was actually on a plane with a super wealthy guy on a private jet after I retired. We were flying around to get on a helicopter to go tour a ranch he was going to buy sight unseen on the helicopter. And it was kind of like my retirement gift from him. And as I'm flying around with him and hanging out with him for 7 days, he was cussing, he was pissed off, he was arguing with his wife, he was just angry for 7 days. And at one point on this private jet, he posted a thing on social media that I got across my social media, and it said, "Living your best life." And I looked at him and started laughing. I was like, dude, you've been miserable this whole trip and cussing people and acting crazy. And he said, I know, but I don't want people to know that. And so we're too quick to do these filters when behind that social media, our life is absolute chaos, as opposed to removing those filters and just being transparent and living in that life. And, instead of going October 7th to the 11th to some party at the lake or drinking or whatever else. I'm going to Carlos Machado's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu seminar with 300 other martial artists, and I'm going to spend a weekend getting better and hopefully getting my black belt in jiu-jitsu and doing tough things. And it's not that you have to do jiu-jitsu, but I'm intentional about scheduling things, because now between now and October, I need to get ready for this thing. And so I have a healthy goal. I have something to look at. And so be intentional with your schedule and really put something on the calendar that you need to work towards. And don't just sit back and let today become today until tomorrow happens. And the last thing I'll tell everybody is, whoever's listening, I love you. I love everybody out there, and there is absolutely no return on investment if you take your life. If you take your life, you will absolutely destroy everybody in your family. And until everyone in your family and everybody that knew you passes away, you will take a part of them with you when you go. My return on investment, if you call me, and my cell phone number is on the nonprofit website. If you call me and I get you help and I get you through whatever you're going through, my return on investment is watching you get healthier, watching you be with your family, watching you grow. I don't have a return on investment if we have to bury you. And I've buried way too many military people and people in general. You're wasting everybody's time if 400 people or 100 people have to bury you and travel in from all over the country to put you in the ground for something we could have helped you through. So I just encourage you to please reach out to somebody. Please just be transparent. We got to stop this suicide thing, because nobody wins in the end, and it absolutely devastates your community. So just know we love you and we do care about you, and let's live this life together.
Thank you, Lee. I'm just blown away again, and this is becoming too cliche for me to get the cop out at the end of these amazing speakers and thoughts, but it just ends up being another proud papa moment for me, knowing that there are men of integrity pushing forward and making sure that all of us are trying to get home. And I just appreciate all the work that Lee has done. I'm excited to hear more, because like I said, I think we're only at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what Lee is doing, has done, and will continue to do. I'm super excited about where Aaron is going, and it's because of the passion that he wears on his sleeve. That's what I'm excited about. I want to thank the WeP3 team for helping put this all together and helping us get the work done during the week. The board that's doing all the work behind the scenes, appreciate all the things you're doing. We'll be here tomorrow, like I said, at 16:30 for the WeP3 weekly debrief. We'll talk about the Ruck March we got coming up in October. We're getting the links and everything out of that. We have a market that is being put together by two amazing women that is bringing in over 40 vendors to, again, raise the resources to help accommodate the asks that come in a weekly. We have constant asks coming in, and we want to make sure that we're doing a diligence to those asks and making sure that those asks are being accommodated in the way they need to be accommodated. We spend a lot of time vetting, having conversations, building and growing. And ultimately, our goal is to build a relationship, to walk with, not behind, not in front, but with those that need support. Here's the reality. Not all veterans and first responders need support. It is what it is. But also not all people have signed the dotted line and sacrificed the things that our veterans and first responders have done. We can get into that conversation another time. Next week at this time, 1800 Central Standard Time, we'll be back again with, want to make sure, Tarina Russell of May in Midlife, and Miss Stevie Lynn, another female musician, coming with her amazing craft and talent. Again, get out to We Got Your 6 at 6. That's not what I really wanted to say. I want to say WeP3 Radio. Get out to WeP3 Radio. Aaron will be on there starting tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to get it. We had some hiccups at the beginning of today's show. And also, if you get a chance, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us monetize the things that we're doing and gets us going to the next level in space that we need to go to. We're ranked number 4 in Good Pods. And then I got an email from iTunes today. It was actually during the week saying you're ranked at this level. I'm not a fan where we're ranked there, folks. I'm just going to say that right now. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they said is make sure if you are hearing the podcast, make sure you are giving your thoughts, opinions, and ideas of the podcast in the comments. And that will increase the algorithm. That will increase the pieces. Yes, we're putting you to work. We get it. Make sure you get out there and check your 6 and live the life you deserve. With that said, Patriot Pride. If you guys got a chance to hang for a minute, it'd be greatly appreciated. See you when the smoke clears.